world and happy Advent. And you know, with Advent of course comes another Christmas story. And for those of you who are new here, basically the way my Christmas stories work is that it's one story from the 1st to the 24th of December, and each day is one chapter from the day of the characters basically. And each day I'm gonna upload one chapter on my website, which I'm gonna link down below, and then each Sunday I'm gonna make a video like this where I read the chapters of the week that has passed. And I have made 2 of these Christmas stories for the 2 past years, so I'm gonna leave links of those in the description down below as well, and I would really recommend reading or watching those first, because this is the same story from different point of views each time, so they kind of work together. So today's one is obviously going to be quite a short one because it's only the 3rd of December, so I'm only going to read the first 3 chapters. But yeah, I have my little Christmas mug with my hot chocolate, I have my Christmas jumper, and I think I'm ready. So let's get started. You can treat this as an audiobook, you can just let it play in the background, and I'm not going to do anything fancy, I'm just going to read the story. December 1st. As Chris and I entered the classroom, my gaze automatically found Alea's table and stayed with her whilst we walked over to our own seats. She looked sad. Her dark eyes fixed on the snowflakes falling on the other side of the window, their frostiness matching her own expression. It was unusual to see her that way, to look at her soft face and not find it brightened by the trace of a smile hanging on the corner of her mouth. Lost in her reflection among the dancing crystals, I nearly missed the desk, and stumbling into my chair very gracefully, I received nothing but a raised eyebrow and a knowing grin from Chris, who took a quick look at Alea as well before saying, "Looks like your princess is more of an ice queen today, huh?" I tried to keep my expression as annoyed as possible, but couldn't help a small smile across my lips at this phrase, "my princess." "Oh, look at you, all doofy and smitten," Chris proceeded, bringing a blush to my face that I immediately hid inside my backpack as I started to take out my books. My best friend laughed at this obvious attempt of escape, but let the topic drop to spare me any further embarrassment. Not that there actually was anything to be embarrassed about. We have had way more in-depth discussions about my decade-long crush on our classmate, but still, Alea was my kryptonite, and Chris knew this, and used it against me whenever the situation presented itself. Speaking of which, you know, you could finally talk to her now that you actually stand a chance. My confusion must have been very obvious. Josh and Alea have been an item for nearly 2 years now, because Chris immediately added, "You know that they broke up, right?" I nearly choked at the breath I had just been taking, my brain apparently unable to take in this new information without shutting down all life-supporting functions first. So as my friend tried to get me breathing again, I could only stare at the girl by the window a few rows in front of us in utter disbelief, my mind repeating over and over again, "What?" "Sorry, I figured you'd be the first to know," came the further explanation as soon as I was able to fill my lungs with air again. "They broke up a few days ago. Not sure why, but I heard rumors that there's another girl. And by the way Alea's gaze is burning those snowflakes, I'd say there's some truth to those rumors." Alea was single. For the first time in 1.5 years she was single. What? "So are you gonna talk to her?" I couldn't answer. I was overwhelmed by the question and all its consequences, but it echoed on and on in my head. Was I? December 2nd. The first time I had ever noticed Alea, we had been in the 6th grade and she stood in front of me in the line at our school's cafeteria. It was pizza day, and even though I knew there weren't many vegetarians in our year, I saw that the only veggie option was already nearly gone. And then Alea took the last piece. I don't remember whether I looked particularly disappointed or let out my frustration in some other way, but suddenly this girl, whom I'd never seen before, but who had the kindest eyes I had ever looked into, turned around and handed me her plate. "I'll have pizza for dinner anyways." That was the first thing she ever said to me. I had been so surprised that I couldn't even thank her, but ever since, her smile stands out to me in every crowd. We haven't had much contact since that day, a few greetings in the hallway and a kind smile here and there, but from this first interaction on, she has had me enchanted. December 3rd. When I awoke the next morning, my window was still covered in frost flowers, but the sound of a consistent drop promised rain instead of its white cousin. I was about to force myself out of my warm cocoon of blankets when I noticed the notification light on my phone blinking. So I grabbed the welcome distraction and cuddled deeper into the sheets again before opening the text from Chris. Don't forget to tell your parents that we're going Christmas shopping today. A grin spread over my lips. My best friend really did know me well. Because of course, I had not only forgotten to let my parents know that I'd be home late, but also that we had plans for today in the first place. What would me and my weak mind do without Chris? After a few more lazy minutes in bed, I finally put away my phone and got up to face another cold day that would consist of damp clothes and probably the consumption of way too many hot drinks. And indeed, 6 hours later, Chris and I stood in the middle of the shopping center, air-conditioned warm air blowing into our necks, and each of us holding a cup of coffee with varying sweet syrups. Okay, so we've got something for both of our moms and for one of my brothers, whoever likes it best. Any ideas for your sis? I was about to turn toward the shop where Lily had recently pointed out a skirt she loved, when my gaze got caught by something else. A head of light brown hair and a ponytail, some strands of it coming loose above her chocolate-colored eyes. Chris, noticing my abrupt distraction, followed my gaze, and I heard a suppressed sigh next to me before Elia's voice overshadowed every other sound around me. "Oh, come on," she said to someone I couldn't see through the mass of people that filled every corner of the center. "This one really isn't that bad. You saw the blinking fairy lights in the window over there, right? Compared to them, these ones are almost pretty. And look at that adorable penguin. It looks like it's floating on stars with the candles around him." I saw her eyes light up as she and her companions laughed, and then their little group turned around and was lost in a sea of shoppers again. But I was already on my way to the shop they had been looking at. She was right. The penguin in the window really was quite adorable. Its wings spread out in a dance gesture and the scarf around its neck's a cute snowman pattern. An idea crossed my mind, but before the exciting smile could even begin to form on my lips, Chris caught up with me and interrupted my thoughts. "No! Honestly, you cannot buy her that penguin for Christmas. Especially if you refuse to talk to her. Come on, let's leave before you get any more stupid ideas." I let myself be dragged away, but over my shoulder I caught a last glimpse of the happy little penguin, and with Elia's laughter playing in my head, I left the shopping center. So yeah, that's already it for today's Christmas story. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, links to the written one on my website and the last Christmas stories of the past 2 years will be down below. And next Sunday will follow the next 7 days. And yes, the penguin in the shop window was inspired by this little guy. I hope you have a lovely advent and I will see you soon.